afternoon. Welcome to Two Tall Stitchers. Who would have been here a lot sooner if we could have A, found the clicker, and B, made it work. We're glad you're with us. Thank you for coming back. And we are looking forward to sharing a lot of stuff with you today. And now it's Jennifer's turn.
Yes.
Oh, I'm Carol.
There you go.
I'm the older half of Two Tall Stitchers. This is Jennifer. She's my daughter, and she is the younger half of Two Tall Stitchers.
I like that. I'm not the younger half in a lot anymore.
I know.
I've hit that point. So welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We have lots to share, as usual. The table is full, and there are a few things precariously perched. So if you hear a crash, don't worry about that. We'll all be good.
And the dog is here too. So if you hear barking, whatever, we'll try and edit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay sleeping.
So we'll start today with our quilt of the day, and that's this quilt behind us. And this is my quilt. This is called the Neighborhood Charm Quilt, and it was originally on Moda Bake Shop, and I just spent about 10 minutes trying to find it, and evidently Moda Bake Shop is no longer. But you still might be able to find it if you search Neighborhood Charm Quilt. It's made out of a charm pack, and this was a charm pack that was given to me by our friend Lois. Lois passed away several years ago.
I know.
9 years ago now, I think. And she was a wonderful lady. She left us too soon, and she gave me this amazing gift. She gave me her entire quilt stash. We filled... have we talked about Lois before? I don't think so.
Not really, no.
But it was amazing. We filled the back of my minivan from behind the driver to the very back twice.
To floor to ceiling.
Yeah, floor to ceiling. And then we filled the back of your SUV, large SUV.
Expedition.
From the whole back of it.
With notions and fabric and...
Yeah, everything.
Yours was all fabric, your two loads. But
yeah.
It was all, the best part, it was all sorted. It was sorted by color. It was sorted by floral, orientals. It was just all, it's not like you just got bags and bags of stuff.
Yeah.
And the best part was when we were unloading it, and her husband looked at it and said, "Boy, I bet this is worth a couple $100."
I said, yeah, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
So anyway, it has been an amazing gift and has allowed me to do a lot of quilting. She also had a lot of UFOs, and we finished a lot of those and gave them back to her family, including wedding quilts and wall hangings and pillows. I think there was even a bear that we finished.
Yeah.
All kinds of great stuff. So we miss her, but she lives on in the fabric that is in my house. And so this quilt I actually made a long time ago, and it was a very easy quilt to make. I probably made it in a week or two, and I knew exactly how I wanted to quilt it, and I was super intimidated. So it sat as a finished top until 2019, when I finally put on my big girl pants, took it on my long arm, and what I did in this quilt, and you probably won't be able to see it here, but I'll try and include a couple of close-up pictures at the end. I quilted in under the houses every street that I've lived on in my life. And then in between the houses are little trees or bushes. And so I love it. I guess I can't move because I finished it. So I'm stuck where I am. But yeah, it was a really fun quilt to quilt. And every time I look at it, it brings back memories of things that happened in my life at those places where I lived. So all the way from
lots of interesting memories.
Houston to Michigan, Philadelphia, and Indiana. So it's a fun one. This goes up over my couch in my living room. Actually, this is only the second year I've had it, so I don't know that I have a specific time of year, but I think it might go up. I think my I don't even know what's there now. Can come down, and this one can go up.
Spring or something.
Yeah, so that's our quilt of the day. We do a lot of decorating with quilts, so
yes,
you'll see I know our first few were all really big quilts, but you'll see some smaller size quilts because we do decorate with them and we rotate them through the seasons. So, all right, well, let's jump right in. We have a whole lot to talk about today, a fair amount to show as well. We have some stitching, some knitting, some quilting, some sewing, all kinds of good stuff. And before we do that, we want to thank the Cornhusker State Stitchers. We told you guys about them last time, and then they shouted us out in their video as well. And we saw a little bump in our subscribers. So welcome to all the new viewers who came over from Terry and Jamie's channel. And hope you enjoy another mother-daughter duo. Okay, so what have we been up to these last 3 weeks? Anything of note?
No, it's been really quiet.
Yeah. You've been busy working.
Yeah, I'm working.
Every Friday you're going in and working at Persnickety, which is our local needle shop. She's learning all kinds of fun things.
Oh, yes, I'm learning about, oh, Lord, how to cut fabric. I'm learning about needlepoint, which I know nothing. And then I'm learning about all the different threads. She has a huge selection of threads, at least in my book. And I know about weeks, and I know about sampler threads, and I know about DMC. And that's 2 of probably 30. And most of the rest are needlepoint fabrics. There's wool and there's silk and there's all kinds of beautiful stuff. I'm not getting into needlepoint. No. I have enough. I was actually in there this morning for a little bit, and I worked a little bit, and the new package of quilt patterns came in from Hoffman, and I went through that, and we'll probably be going by there this afternoon, so Jennifer can look at them too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been fairly quiet. My stitch group, we were meeting in the park, and then it rained 3 weeks in a row, and then it was going to be 90 degrees, and so I sent out a note. I said, how about you come to my house? I have air conditioning and a bathroom, because the bathrooms at the park are locked right now. They have been for a long time. So we've been here a couple of weeks, but hopefully this week it's supposed to be in
really
the upper
nice.
70s with low humidity, so hopefully we'll be back in the park so another bird can poop on my pattern. Okay.
And what I've been up to is watching a whole lot of Olympics.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
We both love the Olympics, and so that it's on like all day in my house all night. And my daughter came down the other day. You guys know the princess, and turned on Friends or some sitcom, and I was like, nope, not today. We have Olympics on. You can watch reruns after the Olympics are done. So she took herself up to her room with her laptop and watched it on her laptop.
And we have cable, they do not, and it's on at least 3 channels, and I'm recording them all, so Jennifer told me the other day, she said, you'll have enough to watch till the next Olympics, which I probably will.
Which aren't that far away, because it'll be Winter Olympics. Yeah. And then the other thing that I got to do, which was kind of fun, so Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch had her 1-year Flosstube anniversary. And as part of that, she offered up a chance to join her in a Google Meet. And so I did that last Saturday and met with Liz and about 10 other stitchers. We spent an hour talking about stitching, showing some projects, and it was really, really fun. So we'll have to think about maybe we can line up something like that in the future.
If you guys would be interested in stitching with us, we did that with the
retreat group.
The retreat group, yes, because we didn't have our retreat last year. And so we had an all-day stitching. What did we have? 4 or 5 hours we were on.
Yeah,
and people kind of could come and go. Some people stayed the whole time. I think we started around noon or 1 o'clock, and we went till about 5. So if anybody's interested in that, we would love to stitch with you. Let us know.
Leave us a comment, and we'll figure out a day we can do that.
Yeah, on a weekend that we don't video, we can do a stitch-in.
Yeah, and I know we have several Australians who watch too, and I think you guys are like 13 hours ahead of us, so if we did maybe in late afternoon, evening, you could join us in your morning. We'll try.
That'd be great.
And figure something out.
We'd love to do that. We've both been to Australia.
Yes.
We both love it.
And we both want to go back.
Yes. Yes.
All right. We had a handful of questions on our last video, so why don't we jump into those? The first one, I asked you all on my counted canvas piece for options on how to finish that. You'll see that again today. And I need some help on it again. So suggestions that I got are frame it. Several people mentioned they had them framed, and the recommendation was to use someone who's experienced with needlework because they're a little bit trickier to frame than maybe your average linen. Somebody said a pillow. Someone else said a stand-up or in an acrylic tray or the top of a box. So all great ideas now. I just have to figure out which one of those I want to do. I kind of like the idea of a top of a box.
Yeah, that would be pretty.
And then it can sit on the coffee table. So I'll have to keep my eye out for a box that has the right kind of look and size.
And just as a side note, when I was in today, a young lady came in and asked about finishing an ornament she was making for someone. and Vicki told her that the finishers are now at least 4 to 6 months out. So if you have any needlepoint that you're working on and you want it finished, because evidently in 2020, the needleworkers had a 20 in 20 project. So now they're finished, and the needle finishers are slammed. So, yeah, and just be aware that, it's now August.
Tomorrow.
It's
It'll be
August tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so as a result, if you have anything you want to get framed for Christmas or finished for Christmas, you probably have about another 3 or 4 weeks at the most to get stuff in.
Get it in, yeah.
So just a reminder.
Okay, and then the pattern name, somebody asked about that. I'll show it later, but it is Star Spangled Birthday from Nancy's Needle. The next comment, it was a comment, not a question. We showed your Lighthouse Quilt last time, and our intrepid viewers found it after we said, we don't know what the pattern name is or where it is.
I just named it by the sea. I don't always name my patterns for the pattern name. I whatever hits me the day I put a label on, it's what I call it. And that one it didn't make me seasick, but there was a lot of sea in there. So I really enjoyed making it.
And we heard the official pattern name is Beacon of Light, and you can find that on Etsy. So if you're interested in that pattern, take a look there. So Penny's daughter shares, I think that's Michelle, asked, do you use interfacing when making pillows from stitched pieces like we showed last time? We showed our pillows.
Yeah. The bigger pieces, yes. The little ones, mine's around here somewhere. But, it's over there. Yeah. My little Christmas one that I finished, which is only about this big, I do not interface. But if it's going to be a big one that's going to be on a couch or a chair, or somebody's going to lean on it or throw it around when they're trying to sit down and they move it and they don't appreciate the absolute tons of work that you put into it, yes, I do put interfacing on the back just to hold everything in place.
And I also look at the weave of the fabric. So I've done some things with a bigger count fabric, and sometimes if you don't put interfacing behind it, you'll see the little puffs of white behind it from the filling. There is interfacing that you can purchase that's black. So if you're using, doing a chalkboard piece or on black fabric, you can interface on that. My only tip is to make sure your stitching is absolutely straight before you put that interfacing on, because once you put it on, it's like
you're done.
Glue, you're done. I have one piece that I think I already showed you guys here, but I was disappointed because it got just a little bit off kilter when I put that interfacing on, and not much you can do about it after that. Okay, Barbara, we showed last time our lamps. And so if you haven't seen our last video, number 7, we talked about our lamps, and Barbara asked, do we have the 3 or the 5 diopter? And we both have the 3 diopter. There's 2 magnifications that it comes with. Yeah, and we both have the lower magnification, and it's plenty for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then she asked, what was the blue tape on my snow place? It's painter's tape, Barbara. The piece of linen was a random piece that was in my stash, and it was really fraying, and I was too lazy to go down to my machine and stitch the edges. So I went into the kitchen cabinet and got painter's tape.
Which works fine.
It works fine, and
it comes
I'll
off
just
easily, or you
either
can cut it off
or at the end. So that's
Not
what the blue stuff was.
Yeah.
Okay, Hoosier Stitchers. We did have Lisa confirm that it is a private group, but if you're interested in joining, just let one of us know, and we'll figure out a way to
drop a note to us at twotallstitchers@gmail.com, and then we can invite you to join.
Yeah, and then Lisa also recommended a trip to Unraveled, which is a quilt shop in Spencer, Indiana, which is close to where Fancy Works is.
It's a good hour and a quarter from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of out 70.
So we might do that one day.
Yeah, my friend Kathy and I went out there when it just opened, so it was brand new. She didn't have a lot, but she now has a very nice store, and she is featured in the current issue of Quilt Sampler magazine.
Sampler, yeah.
So I'm sure we're going to take a little field trip out there.
Yeah.
Just what I need, a field trip to a quilt store. Maybe we can combine it with a field trip to a cross-stitch store, too.
Okay,
Just
for the next question, we need our frames.
Oh.
So Vanessa asked, how do we hold our frames while stitching? And I thought that was a great question, Vanessa. And then I had to pay attention to how I held mine. So first thing I'll say is that we both do have lap stands that you can put on your lap that your frame will go into. I use mine when I'm working on bigger pieces. You use yours only occasionally.
It depends.
Yeah. So how do you hold your frame when you're stitching?
Well, I have this. This is my Lizzie Kate rules, Christmas rules, and I pretty much hold it like this. Or sometimes I'll lean it on my lap and I'll stitch two-handed. And it just kind of depends on my mood and where I am, because since this is a long frame.
One.
She's got a shorter frame compared to mine. I have a shorter frame, but of course the fabric was too long, and you can't fold it over. I tried that and it didn't work. When we were in Michigan,
awful.
it's terrible. Yeah. So, I usually hold it in my. I'm right-handed, so I hold it in my left hand, lean it on my lap, and off I go.
Yeah, and I'm pretty similar to that, except that I'm left-handed. So I hold it in my right hand, and I found I usually have it leaning against my body somewhere.
Yep.
So the bottom corner leans against my knee, my stomach, if I have a pillow in my lap,
Whatever's
something like
sticking out.
that. Yeah. And then I usually stitch one-handed. Now, there's a frame that's smaller than this that's real small and skinny. That one I usually just hold to the side because it's so small. So.
Oh, I also use the dog as a rest, because usually when I'm stitching, he is
He's right
on
there.
top of me.
Yes.
He's not here because we're sitting in hard chairs. If we were on a couch or a chair, he would be here.
Yeah. So Vanessa, just try around different things, see what you can get to work. I recommend a lap stand. I really enjoy mine, and that allows you to do two-handed stitching. But some pieces are too small. Okay, then Scotty Dog had a couple of questions. The first was around the style of stocks that you were knitting.
I probably have, I'm looking over there, I probably have a good 8 or 10 sock books about toe up, a 2 at a time, and all this kind of stuff. And I usually use the pattern that came off the band on the yarn. Someday I'm going to get brave and I'm going to jump in and I'm going to make one that from my book that actually has a pattern, but because I'm too lazy and I want to do something fast, I usually just knit. Either it's knit 2, purl 2, so it's kind of gathered all the way around, or I do it at the top and then straight knitting and off I go.
Yeah. So maybe when you finish your project that I picked out of the corner, next time we'll pick a project from one of your books.
She may not be on the next Flosstube.
I love to come up with fun ideas for her. Okay, and then Scotty Dog also asked where I got my cutting board that I put my monthly Lizzie Kate pieces on. I'm pretty sure I got it at Michael's, but it might have been Joann's. It was at least a year ago, if not 2 years ago. Somebody else commented that they found one not long ago, so keep an eye out for it. You might find something like that. I also know mine is ceramic, but there are a ton on Etsy that are wooden, and you could easily do the magnets on the wood as well and switch that out. And then the last question was from Ginger, and she was asking about how to do circular ornaments. So I had shown a couple of months ago an ornament in a hoop, and that's one way to do a circular ornament. You have to get the right size hoop, obviously. And then you also have some
Okay,
tools.
and then I have these Fiskars. They're stencils, pretty much. Are you pulling out yeah. They're stencils. And so I have that one, which is a circle, and then...
And what you would do here is you would use this for your mat board.
Yeah.
That you're going to put behind your ornament. So you would just cut the mat board, whatever size circle. Probably not this one.
Depends if it's a little tiny ornament.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine something that
Something
small.
over 1 on 42.
And then you would cut your batting, if you're going to put batting in it, the same size. And you would keep your stitched piece, I would say at least 1.5 inches all the way around, and I would just rough cut that.
Yeah. Or you could just draw with an air erasable pen. You could draw around on your stitch piece in here, and then you could cut 1.5 inches out, and then the air erasable pen would go away. Yeah.
So there's circles and rectangles and ovals.
Ovals.
Yeah.
They're from Fiskars.
Yeah.
I think I ordered them. I can't remember where I bought them. I've had them a long time.
I think they were available on Amazon.
They travel back and forth.
Yeah.
As everything we own does.
Yeah, it's not uncommon that one of us will text or call the other, do you have this? I don't think I have it. I think you have it. And that's one of the things that goes back and forth. So.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all our questions.
Yeah.
Shall we go into whips and new starts?
Yeah.
All right. You had a new start.
I have a new start. Where's your
Yeah.
cardboard? You guys know I'm working at Persnickety, so we talked about me doing perhaps some model stitching. And these are for the fall Halloween series from Mill Hill, so I decided to start this one.
Yeah.
And there is some black in there. You really can't see it. It's just up at the top. Yeah. But yeah, so that's fun, and hopefully I'll finish it in the next few days.
Yeah.
So that's my new
Quick
start.
stitch.
Yeah. It's a quick stitch. I need a quick stitch.
And I think I hadn't started my new start, but it's also a finish, so I'm going to wait and hold it until we get to finishes.
And then
whips.
Yeah, my whip. Hang on.
Should we pull out? Okay,
Yep.
so we'll both show again our flea market flowers. We're continuing to slowly but surely make progress. Somebody's still way ahead of somebody else.
Oh, am I?
Okay.
Yeah, there's hers.
So
there's mine.
there's flea market flowers. Yeah, you're way ahead of me.
Yeah. I worked on this a bit this week, but again, the Olympics, and I've been working on my knitting project so that I don't get dinged for that.
Yeah.
And that's, and then, well, I
Okay,
finished.
you do that because I have to take this out.
I showed you guys this, but I finished this segment of my Lizzie Kate. Hang on, and I finished this segment, and the house should look pretty darn good because I redid it 3 times. It was a challenging, I don't know why, I was being stupid. And then I started the border for the next segment, but that's as far as I got because I went back to flea market flowers and my knitting project.
Okay, and then my next whip was from the book Sea, Sand, and Cross Stitch by Anna Field. And that's the pattern. Let me see if I can find the picture. That's what it's going to look like. This is all on DMC. This is on a called for white linen. And I made great progress. I started this during Stitch Mania, and I had only stitched on it during Stitch Mania, so I pulled it back out. I finished the Lighthouse, and I started the alphabet. So I'm doing the alphabet one color at a time. So I think I finished 4 colors. It's all DMC, and the variegation you get is just from different colors of DMC. I think it's so really pretty. I really like it. Once I finish the alphabet, there's some waves at the bottom and then a border at the top, and then that'll be done. So hopefully next time I see you, this will be a finish.
Let's see if we can show it up a little bit closer, then you can see the waves at the bottom, and then the border at the top and the bottom, and then the multicolor letters. I'm going to do this when you're done.
Okay.
Like
yeah, that book
else to work on.
has neat patterns. Very clean, bright, summery patterns. Okay, and then this, it might be a whip and might be a finish. I need some thoughts. So this is my counted thread piece that I just mentioned, Star Spangled Birthday by Nancy's Needle. And it has been my lunchtime project, but I've had to go into the office, so I haven't been able to stitch over lunchtime. So this week it became my evening project. And it might be finished, maybe. Okay, so here's where it is. This is where I need your opinion. On the pattern, can you slide it over because I'm going to try and show. So on the pattern, I don't know if you can see, there's supposed to be fireworks.
Oh.
And I don't know if I like them. So I put one in. There's one in right over here.
Oh, I don't like them.
And then I didn't put the rest in because I think that blue is so pretty. So what do you think?
No.
We'll get Mom's opinion first.
Well, it doesn't look bad here. I don't like it on the pattern.
I don't like their
but I like
fireworks.
it on here, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I don't think you
Should
have
I
to do it.
maybe add one more in?
Yeah, maybe put like one down here and one up there. You know, they have a ton of them, but I wouldn't put that many in. But then if you just do a few, it's like, you know, who was setting off the fireworks? I'd be tempted to leave them off.
Okay. I think that blue is so pretty.
The blue is pretty, and they don't really do anything to it.
Okay, so we're going to probably take them out and call it a finish.
Yay!
But tell me what you guys think. If you have strong opinions, let me know.
We know nobody has a strong opinion. But we appreciate your opinions. They help us a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot.
Okay, and then this was my start and finish. So this is the model stitch that I'm doing for Persnickety, and it's American Harmony by Summerhouse Stitch Works. And this was fun, and it was easy. And I don't have the name of the linen in here. Oh, wait. A little crinkly. So Vicki kitted it up based on what she had in the shop. So this is on a 32 count Jobelin lamb's wool, and it was stitched with Weeks, Louisiana hot sauce, and Father's Day. And I finished it, and it's so pretty.
It's really pretty.
I love the colors. What goes on top? America goes on top. There it is. This was really fast, you guys. I did this in just over a week. I think like a week and a day. And I stitched all the blue first. If you follow me on Instagram, that's the last picture you saw. And when I started to put the red in, I just loved it. It just made it pop. So this is a very easy stitch. I am going to finish it as well. The one thing, well, two things I wanted to tell you. So with variegated floss, I had to kind of play around. Usually I go left, well, I start in the left and I go back and forth from top to bottom with the variegated floss. But with this pattern, when you do that, it doesn't quite look right. So you kind of have to look at each motif and figure out which way you want it to variegate, right? Like how you want it to look. And so you might have to go up and down in some places, side to side, and other places to get the color to look the way you want it.
Or you could just use DMC.
Yes.
And then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
You could use straight up single color.
I think it would be fine with DMC.
It would be pretty.
It would be just as pretty.
The one thing I wanted to tell you, I don't know how you guys shop, but I usually shop my stash first. This is the Father's Day, and this is all I had left. So it is one length of the skein.
You started out with a whole skein.
I started with a whole skein, so there's a lot of blue in it. The red wasn't quite as bad. I had more red left. But if you're going to do this, I highly recommend get yourself a dedicated skein of the blue. Or if you're grabbing something from your stash, make sure it's a full skein. So I'm going to finish that. I'm going to show you some ideas that I have when we get to haul. And then hopefully next time that'll be a finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's all our whips. New starts, finishes, haul.
Oh.
What have you been buying?
Okay. You know, working in a cross-stitch store, not good. Anyway, I got some plastic bobbins, you know, really neat, exciting stuff. But I got a pair of these little tiny scissors, see?
Oh, yeah.
And they have a cover on them like this, and it stretches. And they're little tiny
Yeah.
Where are
They're
you?
sharp.
There they are. But they're sharp.
They're really sharp.
They're really sharp. Yeah, be careful if you drop them on your foot.
Yeah.
It makes a hole, and then you bleed. Don't ask me how I know. And then
I have those in green. I think I bought them in a quilt shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess I haven't opened these yet. But well, I was watching Country Stitchers, yes. And Liz was recommending these needle threaders, and they had a special. And if you use the code from Country Stitchers, that you could get these at a special price. But again, this is going to be a little tiny thing. And there's a little tiny hook there. I don't know that you can even see it, but there's a little tiny hook there. And it's made to go through little tiny holes in needles.
Wow.
So you get to pick out a couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a pink and a green.
Okay, is that enough?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome.
So that was my find. And they come,
In a little case.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There was a dozen.
12,
There was a dozen. And they're not expensive. You can find them on Amazon. But using the code that Liz did, it didn't cost, I think they were like $4.
Nice.
And then the other thing I got, which again, I got a pack of them. It came with them, but it's good for several projects, is this is a counter for, well, you can use it for knitting, you can use it for anything. But it's really neat because you just, you put it on your finger and it's got little holes. So it fits right on your finger. Yeah, like that.
Well done.
And instead of having to mark it with a pencil or something like that. So when you're knitting, you just sit there and you just punch it. And then you have your rows, you know what you need to do.
And did you get that on Amazon or in a
No, I
knit
think
shop?
I got it at Amazon. And
Okay.
again, I think it was 6 or 8 in a package because I know
Yeah,
I gave you at
gave
least
me
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so they're pretty neat. So that was my, and then I got some floss. You don't need to see that. You know, floss is floss.
Floss is floss. Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
I'm really trying to be good.
I
super
went to
successful.
Michael's purposely to look for a way to finish this. So I want you to, will you just kind of hold it up, fold it. So I got 2 things. Anybody who watches Priscilla and Chelsea knows about these wooden blocks with the gingham on the ends. I had bought a green one before. They are 70% off now. There were only like 4 left in our store. That was my first thought, is that this could go on this. But as you can see, a little too big. But this will still be good for something else. So then I walked the entire store and I found this little easel that says "Hooray for the USA." And I thought I could put blue fabric behind it, blue or red, and then position this on here and then put a little bow on top. So I got some pretty striped red ribbon to add to it. So that's my haul. And this was also on clearance. This was in the 4th of July stuff. There were a couple left in my Michael's, but I don't
And
know
it was
that they'll be
originally
around.
$10. What did
Originally
you pay for it?
$10, so I probably paid $3 for it.
Wow.
We might have to go back and buy the rest. But we're going to go shopping after this. We're going to go shopping.
We're going shopping.
We're going to go look at Hobby Lobby too and
Okay.
see what they have because I want to see. I had in my head something a little darker than this. This is real light. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to wind up painting this or if I find something else. So we're going to keep looking. But even if I don't use it for this, this is a great little decoration or a nice, I love that it's an easel because you have so many things and it's hard to stand them up.
And you can't put everything on the wall.
Yeah, so
a
if
limit.
nothing else, I'll have another finish that goes in here. That's my haul. Should we talk about Happy Meal real quick?
Yeah.
And then we can go to the Biscornu challenge. So hi, Alice. Alice heard me say on our last episode how much I enjoy Mary Englebright. And she reached out and said that she likes Mary Englebright too and has more patterns than she's going to stitch. So I got this lovely package. Even, look at this, you guys, with a Mary Englebright card. And she included several patterns for me. And she said if I want to keep them in stitch them, I can, or we can put them in future giveaways. So these are from Imaginating. These are newer ones.
Yeah.
This one I love. This might be the first one that I stitch. I really like that. I'll go with the Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be perfect.
And then this is an older book, Chair of Bowleys. And Just Between Friends. And this one has a bunch of stuff in it. It's a big book.
Oh, wow.
Lots of stuff. This is the page that we really liked. And you wanted to stitch that right away, so you're going to get that. And then she threw in 4 other little patterns. So a Lizzie Kate, Bent Creeks, couple Bent Creeks, and a Twisted Threads. And so we are going to look at these. I'm stitching this one, so that's starting with me. And then I think you wanted a couple of the
You have
other
that one
ones.
done.
I have this one done.
That's her pillow.
Yeah.
That's her pillow.
Yeah, so this will probably wind up in a giveaway for us, and then you'll look at those, and I know you want to
figure out for the others, yeah.
And then about a week later, I got another package from Alice, and she sent another Mary Englebright card, and she had 2 books that she sent along. So this is the Mary Englebright cross-stitch book.
First cross-stitch book.
First. Yes, okay. With tons of projects in it. And this is a cross-stitch for all seasons. And I don't think you've looked through these
No,
yet. So
no.
Mom's going to have some stuff to look at. So thank you so much. It was lovely to get these from you. And it was a big surprise. She had sent me an email for the second set to say, oh, there's a few more on the way, but I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
So I just went out and opened the mailbox, and there it was. So thank you. It's wonderful. I love Mary Engelbright. You love Mary Engelbright.
Yes, thank you for your generosity and for sharing.
Yeah. So we'll be sharing some of those in giveaways, and then we'll be stitching some of them other than that.
Yep.
So, okay, so now I think we're up to the thing Mom is most excited about starting tomorrow.
Oh, crap. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is August 1st. Yes. So tomorrow starts our Biscornu stitch along. If you watched our last video, you know I was horrible at figuring out how to put the tags at the bottom. But I'll do it again. It might be through the whole video, but hopefully not. So our Biscornu stitch along starts tomorrow. You're going to use 2 hashtags when you share pictures on Instagram. You're going to use Biscornu Sal and 2 Tall Stitchers. And we can't wait to see your pictures that come through. And then if you aren't on Instagram, please email us, 2tallstitchers@gmail.com, and send us your pictures of what you're doing. And at the end of our next video, and maybe even the one after that, we'll have a little photo gallery of the pictures that we got in. So we asked for tips, but we'll start just reminding you which ones we're going to do. So I am doing the Tiny Modernist Fox. And guess what? I had all the threads. I didn't have to buy a single thread. You know how that happens? It's all DMC. How you look at a pattern and you see the threads you need and you have all but 2. Every single time without fail.
Any of them mine?
Every one. No, they're all mine.
Wow. I haven't even checked my colors yet.
Okay, well, you can do that while our video's up.
Oh dear.
So
Okay.
You're ready.
And then I'm doing the Just Nan Tiny Christmas Biscornu, and I thought it was 3, but actually it's 3 different versions, pictures of the one. So I'm only doing 1, thank God. And I'm just excited to beat the band to start this.
Well, the first part is easy because it's just stitching.
You're right.
Yeah. And then I'm stitching mine on 28 count Monaco. I was digging around all my stash. I didn't want to do it on the Ada, but I found this Monaco in my stash, so I'm stitching mine on that.
And I'm doing this on Weeks Dye Works Cocoa 32 count, which actually,
really
if you look
pretty.
at the picture, it's, well, there we go. The fabric is just as close as it could be.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I have enough of this to do several Biscornus.
Yeah. And
Maybe
we
that'll
asked
be the
last
gift
time
of the
for
year.
tips because we haven't done them before. Some of you have and a lot of you haven't. So we're really looking forward to seeing who joins us and how far along we all get. So here's some tips. There were a lot about paying attention. So Nevada Stitcher said, do the back stitch around the square to be able to join the 2 pieces together. I have no idea what that means right now, but I'm sure I will figure that out when I get to that part. Stitching Scotty said, count carefully when back stitching. Doesn't matter if you stitch top or bottom first. Also no clue what that means,
Right.
but yeah, we'll figure it out. Peg said, when back stitching, don't pull too tight. You need to be able to get under the stitches when joining. So that one makes sense.
That we can handle.
Donna Ramsey said, be patient. And count,
I think that was directed at me.
and count carefully when joining your pieces together. There were several people who also shared pattern information for Biscornus. There was even a freebie, so if you're still looking for a pattern, go back to our last video and just scroll through the comments. You'll see a lot there. Sherry Stengel said she found one in the October 2019 Just Cross Stitch magazine. And then Alice said make sure your stitching is accurate. So it fits together. And she also said she wished she'd put a little bit more stuffing in hers. So we'll have to think about that when we make them.
When we get to that point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 3 people recommended, or more than 3 people, but there were 3 tutorials that came up as good tutorials. Everybody said Tiny Modernist has a Flosstube number, her Flosstube number 3 has a Biscornu tutorial. The Victoria Sampler website has one. And Carolyn Mazzeo, Mazzeo, Flosstube number 33 has that. So hopefully that gives you enough to get started with. I think that certainly the first few weeks will be all stitching for us, and we'll probably be rotating it in and out with our other projects as well.
We'll see how excited we get about it.
Yeah. And I guess between now and our next retreat, we have our next video, we have our retreat. Which we still have a space or two available. So if there's
anybody's
any
interested,
last minute stitchers, August 13th through 15th, send us an email at Two Tall Stitchers, and we will get you the information. So I think we're done with stitching, but we promised that before.
Oh no,
and we
I have a
weren't.
finish.
Oh,
did we talk about that?
we didn't.
I think we skipped finishes.
I think
okay,
we did.
I'm doing that 2020 Christmas in July Sal. And so I worked on my Lizzie Kate, but I have this one, which is, It's a Wonderful Time by
Country Cottage
Needleworks. And guess what? Guess what? It's done. I finished it. And it went so quickly. I thought, oh, it's the middle of July. I can get something else done. Guess what? But at least I worked on my Lizzie Kate. I finished that one segment, started the next one, and then this one is done.
Oh, and you made a change to your gingerbread men. I'm going to hold them up real close.
Oh, yeah. They wanted white French knots. Well, any gingerbread men I've ever seen had raisins for buttons. So I used teeny tiny black beads from Mill Hill.
Beads.
The petite black beads. And I gave them all little black eyes and black belly buttons.
Nice. And this is on the 32 count petty point,
polka dot.
Yeah.
Neat stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's finished.
Good.
And I think I even have a frame for it. That's even scarier. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we think we're done with stitching, but no promises. You guys know we're not going to really be
even though we have an agenda, it doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah. All right. So should we go on to knitting first? Knitting and...
Sure.
Yeah. Crochet. So I just wanted to share... I have the sweater that I showed you a couple of videos ago is finished. And it's the Airy Lace Shell from Lion Brand. I finally blocked it. And right before the video, we took a picture of me wearing it. So we will insert that here so you can see what that sweater looks like finished. As you guys know, we're tall. I'm so happy. It is long. I don't think I made it longer than I was supposed to, but it's a nice... Maybe I added a couple extra rows, but it's a nice long length, covers my hips. It is a...
That's spelled B-U-T-T.
They're going to like that one. It's a heavy sweater, so it's not for a hot day, but...
it's a shell, though. You'll have to wear it over something. Like I said, unless she wants to go braless, and then it'll be really sexy.
No. Okay, how about your knitting?
Okay, I've been working diligently on my sweater.
You've done
and
so
I've
well.
really done well. Let me take my points off here. And you obviously can't see the whole thing, but look how much I have done. Look at that. Look at that.
Last time you were still in the ribbing.
I was still in the ribbing, yeah.
Oh, it looks great.
And it's, it's mindless.
I'm trying to get the color.
Yeah, the color. It's got a lot of flecks of color in it, see?
Yeah, that's a good
and it's really pretty.
Representation.
Which is a good thing I like it since I bought it twice. But I'm going to make something else with the second set. I'm not making this sweater again. But yeah, so I've been working on this. And since it's just pretty much straight knitting, I've been able to watch the Olympics, which I raised my kids watching the Olympics. I mean, from the time they were little, we watched the Olympics. And it's, when I say to somebody, you watch the Olympics? And they say no. And I'm like, really?
I know.
We always watch the Olympics.
I remember as a kid, I don't know if you remember this, but the newspaper would always have the schedule of all the sports and the times. And I remember you would take that page out of the newspaper and you would tape it up on the back door that went to the backyard. So that we wouldn't ask her all day, what's on today? When is skating? When is this? She would just take the schedule, put it up, and she was like, if you want to watch, that's where it is, and that's when it is.
Yeah. So, and I'll have lots of time to finish this since I'm taping it on 3 shows, on 3 channels.
Yeah.
And they go for like 6 hours and 4 hours. But I fast forward through some of the stuff I don't like. I don't need to watch a lot of basketball. And I watch some soccer.
I do like the 3-on-3 basketball. It's just so different and it's so fast.
Yeah.
So. All right, on to quilting sewing.
Yeah.
So I was inspired by Andra over at Andra Makes. I said I wouldn't do a shout out, but I'll do a little shout out for her. She is a YouTube channel that focuses on sewing clothing, and so she makes amazing clothing. Yeah,
Okay.
one of the seams
okay.
is inside out.
Okay.
Shh, don't tell them.
Thought something was wrong. No.
Yeah, something is
It's
wrong.
fine. It's
So,
done. Done is better than perfect.
I bought this fabric when we were on our retreat. It's knit. It's really thin, and it's not
really
great quality.
cheap. Really cheap.
But I made this top, and really what you need to see is the back, because it's a cross back tank top. And I will also insert a picture here. So I learned a lot. I have only sewn clothes, I think, 2 times.
And one
Both
of them was
times,
not successful.
one of them was very much not successful. The other one was only mildly successful, and I would probably put this in that category as well. I need more practice. So
Yes.
the fun thing was I showed this to the princess, my daughter, and said, would you like one of these? And she said yes. So I think I'll have to go find some knit fabric that's a little bit better quality, and maybe
Shop
that
in, like,
will help a little
dresser.
bit. Maybe I'll shop here for some knit fabric, and then I'm going to make her one of these just to give me a little bit more practice. You guys, Andrea is so inspirational. Like, she sews pants and dresses.
She make a dress. Yeah,
and
she's on Instagram.
She's
really
tall as well, and she fits everything. And she was super helpful. So I reached out to her. I had some questions when I got started. She was awesome. She was helpful to getting this started. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to jump in and make all my own clothing anytime soon, but having something now and then could be fun. So we'll see.
The other thing, now that I'm working, I want to take my lunch to work, and I was looking at email, whatever, and they the Shabby Fabrics had this lunch kit, which is really cute, and so I thought that would be better than a paper bag or a big cooler. Not a big cooler, but a cooler is bulky. Yeah. So I ordered the kit, and it came yesterday. I'm not taking it out of the package because I'll never get it back in. But what it is it's the insulated batting. You can see a little bit of it has the marks on it for sewing, where to cut and everything. So you put it together, and it came with
webbing.
It came with the webbing for the handles, and it came with the zipper. Nice. And the zipper, so the zipper is not going to be hard to put in because look at how they did that part for me. Yay. So I have that. So hopefully I can get that done in the next week or so, and then I can at least carry a stylish lunch bag.
Yes.
So that's that. That was my sewing purchase. I guess I did have that whole. And then I think we showed, I don't know if we showed these or not.
We showed one of them, but I think the binding wasn't sewn on.
That my friend Pam quilted for me, but they are done. Both of them are quilted, bound, and ready to go. And right now, my son and daughter-in-law and the kids are up in Maine, so I'm not shipping it anytime soon. Yeah. But I'm really pleased with it. And my niece saw it when she was up last week, and she said, I love the words. See the words in there? Can you see words? She said, I love the words. So maybe she'll get one because I got lots of fabric left. And so that's my finish. I did have a finish this week.
And this morning, made 2 project bags that my mom hasn't seen yet. I was looking at all my project bags, and I don't have anything that's like fall or Halloween themed, and I have the itch to do some fall stitching. I think once I finish that lighthouse, I'm moving on to fall.
And the Biscornu.
And the Biscornu. Well, that's kind of fall. Yeah, the fox. Okay, so this is, sorry, it's reflecting my Halloween project bag. This one gave me a few fits in the zipper.
Turn it over there.
Yeah. And then this is the back of it. And these were all fabrics from my stash.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that
That's
cute?
It's little.
And the houses are, good.
Bats.
I was just looking at the houses hoping they were right side up.
Yay.
And then I made a second one. So years ago, my mom went on a trip and she brought me back this cool panel with all autumn themed items.
I did.
You did.
Oh, okay.
And so I pulled one of the pieces from the panel.
Oh, that's really cute.
Isn't that pretty? And I had this fabric in my stash. Again, thank you, Lois. And I used the same fabric on the back and for the zipper. And amazingly, I had 2 zippers where the colors worked.
Wow.
Because I got a big package of zippers a few years ago for Christmas. And I've used up like all the reds and the greens and the blues. But this was nice because it called for this kind of muddy, mustardy color and the dark orange.
Yes.
And then one of the reasons I brought this quilt today is because I quilted a top that goes with it. And so this is called the 4-Hour Throw. And this is made with a layer cake. It's a good lap size throw. And I made this at Retreat 2019, I think. You take a layer cake and some of them you leave whole and other ones you make, what's that called? An hourglass block with. And so I quilted that up, and so it will go on the couch while this goes on the wall. But I didn't have any fabric left from this pack. It's the exact same fabric line, these two, to do binding. So we're also going to go shopping for binding this afternoon.
Okay.
And my back is kind of fun. I don't know how well it'll show. So I did a big piece of green, a big piece of pink, and in the middle I took all the little leftover chunks from this fabric line and they went in the middle. So my quilt back is kind of fun too. And I just quilted it with
it's a variegated thread. It's really
a variegated pink thread, great big loops, and so it'll be nice and soft on the couch.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
My dog will love it.
Our dogs rule our house, in case you haven't figured that out.
That's everything we did. I think that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Anything else we have to share today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're both healthy and obviously busy.
We do have some news to share.
We do.
We will share more next time, but we have secured a date for a spring retreat.
Spring retreat.
And so we're not going to say it now because we'll probably say the wrong date. But it's in March.
Yes.
It's in March. Next time we will share the details. We should be able to get information up on my blog to share with you all. It will be 30 stitchers in Westfield, Whitestown, Indiana, which is just north of Indianapolis. And it will start on a Friday afternoon and end on Sunday afternoon. So if you're interested in a retreat, listen in for next time and we'll have all the details then.
That's right, I forgot about
And we'll also know, because our other retreat will be over, if we have spaces available for next year's August retreat. Because we have a contract for that at the same time. So we're excited that we're going to be able to do 2 retreats, and the spring one will open up to our Too Tall Stitchers viewers first, and then we'll open it up on Instagram, and then if we don't fill it, we'll open it through things like Hoosier Stitchers or Stitchers events or things like that. So so hopefully we'll get a chance to get on your calendar for next year and get a chance to meet some of you.
We would love to meet some of you guys. That would be great.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you that for our retreat that's going to be in 2 weeks, we have people coming from Iowa, from Ohio, from Missouri, from Florida, and I think maybe Michigan and Illinois, in addition to Indiana. Yeah. So,
It'll be fun.
It will be.
Yeah.
It will be.
All right. Well, I think that's everything. Thank you all. Have a great day. And we have somebody who's peeking in right now. We will talk to you again soon.
Yes. Have a good 3 weeks.
Bye.